Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's etaprime back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Gigabyte Gaming A16. And I've actually had my eye on devices just like this for quite some time now. When it comes down to it, what we've got here is a full-fledged gaming laptop, but it's not a high-end gaming laptop. This is more of an affordable, minimalist gaming laptop. It doesn't have all of the crazy bells and whistles that we see on other high-end setups, but this can definitely work for a lot of people out there. I was actually surprised by the performance this thing's putting out. Hence the name A16. We've got a 16-inch display here. It's an IPS with a resolution of 1920 by 1200 up to 165 hertz, which is really good for a setup like this. It's not bad, but I do think that that's one of the weaknesses of this. It doesn't get as bright as I'd like. But when it comes to the keyboard, it feels really good here. Chiclet style, single zone, backlit LED, and we've only got that blue color as far as I can tell from all of the software that I've kind of went through on this laptop. We've got a huge trackpad, it's super smooth, and the whole laptop itself isn't that big. As you can see, once we close that lid down, it's still a pretty thin little setup given the specs we have here. So it should be pretty easy to get this in and out of a book bag, and it's definitely not going to weigh you down. When it comes to I/O, over here on the right-hand side, we've got a 3.5mm combo jack, one USB 3.2 port, and one USB 2.0 port. Round pack, not a lot going on, but we do have some ventilation. And over on the left-hand side, we've got our power input, Gigabit Ethernet, HDMI 2.1, another full-size USB 3.2 Gen 1 port, and a USB Type-C port. This is also 3.2. It supports display out and PD 3.0 charging. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is more of an affordable, minimalist laptop. So when it comes to the overall specs here, we've got the Intel Core i7-13620H. 10 cores, 16 threads, and those performance cores will do up to 4.9 gigahertz. This came pre-installed with 16 gigs of DDR5 SODIMM RAM running at 5200 megatransfers per second, but you can upgrade all the way up to 64 gigs with this. The unit we have here is actually powered by the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050. Now, this is a laptop GPU that I have not tested. They also make the newer 5060 version of this, but given the price point here, I wanted to go with the 4050. I wanted the most affordable version to test out here. With that, we have 6 gigs of GDDR6, 165 Hz 16-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1920 by 1200, 2 M.2 2280 slots internally, so you can add 2 SSDs here. This came pre-installed with a 512 gigabyte drive. We've got Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2. It's got a 76 watt-hour battery, and this is running Windows 11. Before we get into testing here, I did want to give you a look at the internals. So to get in here, it's actually really simple. We can upgrade that RAM. We can also upgrade the storage. And the configuration that I have here, like I said, has 16 gigs of RAM. But the way this was configured from the factory was one 16 gig stick. So picking up another 16 gig, throwing it in here would bring you up to 32. We've got that other 2280 slot down here, and both of these will support up to 2 terabyte drives. So in total, we can do up to 64 gigs of RAM and 4 terabytes of storage. Before we get into testing, there were a couple things that I wanted to show you. And obviously, we've got the Intel Core i7-13620H, 10 cores, 16 threads here. Memory out of the box is 16 gigs, but it's only utilizing a single DIMM right now. So they didn't go with 2 8 gig sticks. And for the most part, that may net us better performance. But sometimes I do like when they do this. That way, if we added another 16 gig stick, we're up to 32. And, we really don't have to buy 2 16 gig sticks if there were 2 8 in here, equaling that amount. Some people might like this, some people might not. But upping the RAM on this thing is super simple. And of course, this is the version with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050, 6 gigs of GDDR6, and this is a GPU that I have not tested yet. It's not a super high-end GPU, hence, a very minimalistic, kind of inexpensive gaming laptop. But from what I've been testing so far, this will get people by at 1080 and 1200p just fine. When it comes to built-in software, this is utilizing Gigabyte's Gmate. From here, we can actually change our mode directly from the home menu. So we've got a balanced mode. We've also got our game mode, which is going to up that performance. There's a creator mode, power saving mode, online meeting mode, and back to balanced. While we're doing testing here, I'm going to be in gaming mode. System settings, we can just take a look at all of them. Power, Charging mode, we can limit the amount of charge we put on that battery. You can disable the camera completely, enable Dolby Atmos. We can open up NVIDIA control panel from here, network, Bluetooth, all that good stuff. Getting down here to scenario profile settings. Now, even in game mode, we can actually get a little more out of this system. So we'll go ahead and apply game mode. Over here, you'll see our smart cooling went to performance fan. If you wanted to, you could go to turbo, and basically this is all on. Gets pretty loud like that. While I'm doing my testing, I'm in performance mode. It does a pretty decent job of keeping the CPU and GPU cool while not getting, super turbo fan soundy. It does get a little louder. I mean, that's exactly how a gaming laptop is when you're pushing a lot of wattage into it. But Gmate here might come in handy for some people. And of course, if you wanted to do a little bit of GPU overclocking, you could always use something like MSI Afterburner. Now we can't change the power limit, but we can change the core clock and the memory clock here. So if you wanted to go up just a bit, it probably would handle it. In this video, we're going to leave it at the stock clocks and see exactly what this thing does. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into some gaming with this thing. And the first one we have here is Cyberpunk 2077. We're at 1200p high settings with FSR set to balanced. And going into this, I wasn't sure what the RTX 4050 was going to do here. I've seen a lot of these laptops on sale at Best Buy, Walmart, things like that. I've really been wanting to get my hands on one. And even with FSR set to balanced at 1200p high, you can see that in some cases it will dip under that 60 mark. Now, to tell you the truth, if I didn't have that frame counter on, I wouldn't even notice it. Feels good on this display here, and overall, it's not a horrible experience given that we're working with this lower-end laptop GPU. But there's more that we can get out of this, because the RTX 4050 does support NVIDIA's frame gen technology. It's not multi-frame gen, and with that on, same exact settings, we're now getting over 100 FPS on average. Next on the list, my favorite arcade racer, Forza Horizon 5, 1200p Ultra. We don't need DLSS or anything like that for this setup here at 1200p. The RTX 4050 is trucking right along with this game, and it's definitely an easier one to run, but it sure does look good here at Ultra settings, and we're getting over 120 FPS on average with this game. Checking out Spider-Man 2, this has given me a lot of trouble on lower-end GPUs, be it iGPUs and DGPUs. With this, in order to get it up over that 60 mark, frame gen is really where it's going to be, even on the RTX 4050, unless you want to take this on down. Theoretically, we could go to low settings, 1200p, with FSR set to balanced and see over 60 with it, but right now, we're at 1200p high with FSR frame gen on, and we're getting over 80 FPS on average. The final game I tested here was Marvel Rivals, and with this one I did have to drop those settings down from high to medium. So we're at 1200p medium with FSR set to balanced. Still really playable like this, but I was really hoping to get this kind of frame rate here at those high settings. But it looks like medium is going to be where it's at with this RTX 4050 laptop. Overall, for a budget laptop, I do think this worked out really well. Obviously, it's not a high-end system with an RTX 5080, and that's not the point of this thing. This is for people who don't want to spend $2,000 to $2,500 on a gaming laptop, but still game, and we're not going to be gaming at 4K with this system. 1200p display with that RTX 4050 is working out way better than I thought it would, and given that they have released the RTX 5060 versions of these, the 4050 versions have been going on sale over at Newegg, Best Buy, Walmart. I'll leave some links in the description. And I'm going to spend a couple more days with this, just messing around with it for everyday normal use. So if there's anything else you want to see running on this thing, just let me know in the comments below. I could do another quick video if anybody's interested, but that's going to wrap it up for this one. Wanted to give you a quick look at this thing. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments. And like always, thanks for watching.